Morning, guys. Just getting a few things sorted. I fueled the truck and trailer up. Dad is going to make a run up to Worthington Ag Parts with a tractor so that we can get it off our yard and also make a little money off of it. So I'll show you. It's right around the corner here. We have our, it's our old loader tractor. It's a John Deere 6200, and it was working all fine one day, and we park it and went to hop back on it again, and it wouldn't move forward, backwards, nothing. There was no transmission left for some reason. So yeah, it went through the shop, and my uncle did everything he could to try and figure out what was wrong with it, and then it kind of just got pushed behind the shop, and that's where it sat until last summer when we pulled it out here. So the thing starts right up and it runs great, but it just doesn't move. My plans for today is to get the planter out. I'm gonna fill with in-furrow and 2x2 up here at the farm yard because I can't get out to that field with the tender, and Dad has the truck. And we're gonna plant that 6 acres of beans, and then we'll bring it up here, and I gotta run and get the parts, and then we are going to switch the thing over to corn. Uh-oh. It's gone, never to be seen from again. Now it's time for me to go over, load the in-furrow tank on the planter. We're loading everything in the driveway here, and then top some seed off. I don't need to fill up, it's only 6 acres, but I don't have enough in it, I don't think, to do it. So we'll grab a little bit of seed, pump the 2x2 off. I already have that mixed up this morning in the nurse tank. So there's about 120, 150 gallons of 2x2. The planter is loaded. This is another darker soiled field, so it's manganese and just a sniff. I mean a sniff. 0.1 pints to the acre of zinc, and then some boron. So simple mix, easy to do. This is a 2-gallon 318/18 rate. So the reason why I want to get this one done before we switch to corn is because I have to shorten those metering tubes. So I'm dialed in at 2 gallons of 318/18. I can leave my last field, which is a 4-gallon rate, because that one will end up being closer to that corn number. If you remember right, I couldn't hit the rate I wanted with those fields. So once I shorten those metering tubes, hopefully then I can do that field and hit the right rate. I forgot to show this off the other night. The tractor turned over 8,000 hours while we were out planting. It's an old tractor now. No, not really. Maybe once it gets to 10,000, we'll say it's old. All right, we're heading out. Down to the field, just at the end of the road here. If you guys remember a few videos ago when we finished, when we were working on that tank, I mentioned that this pump controller was on all night. And I said that I don't think the pump ran all night. Well, it appears the pump did run all night because my pump burned up just now within about 100 yards. So I'm driving up to the driveway here in the field, and I'm going to walk up to the farm. I'm going to change the fuse just in case, but I'm hitting the I'm pulling the fuse out and putting it in, and every time it ticks the terminal, I hear something tick. So something is getting power, but the pump just, I was going and I started at 50 PSI and I got to the corner and I was at 40. I was like, okay, well, maybe it's just doing its little thing here. And by the time I got down to that corner, it was at 0, and I was like, doggone it. So, yeah, fun day, fun day. Hopefully I can track down a pump. I got the pump off, sitting here on the ground, hose going into a bucket of water, and it runs, but it doesn't pump anything. I don't know what the deal is with this little bugger, but luckily Dad is able to stop on his way back from St. John's and swing into Perry to Fertilizer Dealer Supply and pick up a new 5 gallon per minute pump. This one's 7. That's just what our ag leader guy had when he sold us everything, and so that's what we got. But 5 gallon is still more than enough for what we're putting out. Alright, just grabbing some Slim Jims for a snack. We're gonna go out and fit ground while we're waiting for Dad to get back with our new pump. It's a little hot. I don't know if that's steam or if it's exhaust. Let that bleed off real quick. We'll get the hose, cool it off, dump some water in it. Ran fine yesterday, so maybe we're just running low on water again. I got the new pump put on, it's working. We'll see if we can dial in the rate. Obviously our old one was 7 gallon per minute, this one's 5. So it may affect us, but it shouldn't. The rates we were running only required about 2 gallons per minute. So we should be able to still get to the rate we were running previously. I just ran out of in-furrow, and I really don't want to run without it, in case I plug furrow jets up and stuff like that. So Dad is bringing me out a 2.5 of 3/18/18 and a 2.5 of water. We're going to dump that in. That'll be enough to get through the end. There's only like a ½ acre left, so that'll be enough. I'm out of 2x2 on one side, but that's a little trickier to fill, and I can't get the nurse tank back here, so we'll just run the other side until it runs out and call it good. It's, like I said, ½ acre. It's not going to be a big deal. All right, we're done. Dad brought me out some fertilizer, dumped it in the in-furrow. We're going to fold up, head back up to the farm, but I got to walk over here because a gauge wheel fell off, so I got to go pick that up and then put it back on when we get up to the farm. It's like row 9, so it's not a big deal for beans. I don't know if it's just not a big deal. The spots in this field are a wee bit tacky, but this is also a mucky field, so I don't know. They might come up. They might come up. But the majority of it was good, so that's good. I think I'll drive over, check that 14 out again. I doubt it's going to be good enough, but there may be no point. And I got ground worked to plant corn, so I may as well just switch. But yeah, we may not get to check soybeans off the list quite yet. But we got 14 acres left. Just remember that. We have 14.5 acres of soybeans left. And that pump, I'm running the same PSI as what came out perfectly on the last pump as far as my rate, but this is putting out heavy at that same pressure, so that's kind of weird, but I don't understand it. Liquid systems are just a mind-boggling thing. Alright, it's around here somewhere. Where'd you go? Oh, there it is. Alright, well, I'll see you guys up at the farm. Alright, try and walk you guys through the step-by-step on changing this over to corn. First of all, pop your bean disc out. These are precision E-sets too, I should mention that. So I pop the cover off just to make it easier, and then you gotta shake all the beans out. And then first thing we're doing is removing this brush up into the slanted position. Your brush is gonna look like that. And then we got what's called the paper clip. We bring up. I'm not really sure what that does exactly. And then I use a flat screwdriver and we pop the singulator out of its locked downward position. So now this singulator will float up and down. And then we grab a corn disc. Here's our corn disc. Backside, that's where the corn goes in. Then we put it in and twist. The lock. Pop our cover back on. Can, I'm not, there we go. Cover's on. And then pop our vac hose on. Box goes back on the planter. Hooks in the front, goes down. I don't latch these. I've had too many problems with these boxes cracking and then breaking. And then the only time that actually physically breaks is when you have a full box of seed and you end up draining a $250 bag of corn on the ground in your first half acre. So we don't latch any of them anymore. We just keep them floating. I do have issues with one bouncing out of place every now and then, but it's not common enough for me to go back to locking them down. I've got my recipes. We're going to start on a 55-acre field tonight. 6 acres is done. We can check this off. I got to write down what my total applied actually was. So at 88 or 58 pounds of pressure, which is what 5 gallons to the acre was with the old pump, I was running 5.5 gallons to the acre. I don't know how that works, why, but that's what it put out. The 2x2 put out about 22 gallons to the acre. So that's all done. Put that in the done pile. Or it's not completely done for the season, but you know what I mean. All right, so now we're on to our new field. 58 acres of corn. And we have 5 gallons of 318-18, and then the same 2-quart Sidekick, 0.26 ounces of Intensify, and 1 pint per acre of Centos. Those three are just bare minimum. That's just a standard across the board. Now what we're adding is this Guardian DL. It's a 1500, but it's a nitrogen stabilizer. So that's going in the 2x2 at 2 quarts to the acre. And then the micronutrients rates get a little bigger on corn. So you're looking at a 4-pint rate of manganese per acre in furrow. And then our boron is 2.32 pints, which isn't much higher. Most of the beans were like 1.5 to 1.9. And then this Sidekick, this Feast Sidekick, that's usually what in the soybeans is going in the 2x2. That is not in this one. That's a side dress application. So when we come back with 28 with our Y drops, we'll have those 2.37 gallons of Sidekick with it, along with 2.42 pints of manganese. So with that, we're looking at loading that stuff. You can see our nitrogen use is going to be 163 pounds of N. So this field is getting a little more than our normal N usage for yearly. We used to put 150 pounds straight in, but this one has a 225 bushel yield goal, so that is why the nitrogen is a little higher. Our average for the year is like 145 pounds to the acre, so with this new program we are saving a little bit of money in nitrogen. So that's what we're gonna be loading. Got some nice blue concentrate in the 2x2. That's that the 28's green, and then also the stabilizer's blue, so it really makes it glow in those tanks. Pretty cool. We're 13.8 acres in with 55, and it's about 10:30, 10:40. This is the last of the liquid from the tender going in right now. That is running at about 4.8, 4.9 gallons to the acre, so I got to turn that up. This is running about 24, so it's pretty close. I'm not going to tweak it. I'll just change my mixing to match what the planter's putting out. Well, just ran out of 2x2, 28.6 acres. That's what we got done so far. Running about 34,000 population, and I forgot to mention that we're running 15 gallons of 28 per acre, and then we're running, once we add the Guardian and the boron, we are bumping up to 25 gallons per acre. So we're cutting with water a little bit just to make rate setting easy, because I know where 25 gallons is. We got a little shot of rain last night, like a half tenth. So I went out and checked ground conditions. We're still okay. It's still dry underneath. It's not even tacky on top, really. So we're gonna load up the fertilizer again for the second half of this field. And we gotta grab 12 bags of seed. Hopefully we can shove them on this truck. We should be able to at the back seat and the flatbed. And head down, get everything topped off. The in-furrow is running light. We're just gonna turn her up to 80 like we had the other time, and once we get through this field we'll shorten those metering tubes. But for now, today, I don't got a lot of time, so I can't run and do a bunch of stuff like that. So we're just gonna start. I've got the nitrogen stabilizer out here. We got to pump 8 gallons into the inductor of boron and hook that yellow line up to the 28 tanks, and then start pushing 28 through, induct the boron, induct the stabilizer, and then switch back over to water and cut with water. So we're running 412 gallons of 28, and then topping off to 690 gallons total the rest of the way with water. So good morning, planter. I was able to throw the seed in. I've got 8 bags in here, 4 bags on the back. Alright, start it up, lift it up, take the locks off, open valves, spin around over here, load 2x2, load in-furrow, load seed, and I don't know if I showed you guys what we're putting on half the planters worth of seed last night, but I'll show you today. Everything's loaded, seed's in, so now we have our special thing we put on the seed. That's what this helps with. They want it on every seed when you start, so you kind of do a little stirring action once you put it in. So here it is in here. It's another Conklin product. It's called Amplify D. It's kind of a, well, that little blue thing right there sums it up. Amplify D is a blend of nutrients which aids early season development and growth. So if we weren't putting enough stuff in the in-furrow, we're putting some right on the seed. That in-furrow is not gonna give the seed anything until it grows into it, which may take a couple weeks, so, or at least a week. So that's where this comes in. It gives it that little boost from the start to get up out of the ground and then hopefully find that bead of fertilizer. So 1 scoop per box, about like that. Just like that, and then we'll mix it up with the drill afterwards. It's kind of muggy out, so it's not scooping the greatest. I think it's a clay base. It's got talc in it too, so I don't have to put anything in the box with it. I bought graphite to put in with it, but I'm kind of worried about stealing the bonding spots on the seed. So I'm just running straight Amplify D this year, and I'll get some answers on whether I can run a graphite with it or not. And we're running a side-by-side trial, so the left side of the planter, until I'm out of this product, I have 2 containers of it. Until we're out of it, we're just doing the left side, the left 6. And then we're running our normal talc graphite mix in the other 6. And then we stir them up. It's gonna be hard to do one-handed, but I just do it so I can't see streams of it anymore. So that should be good. And I saw it on the seat at the bottom of the box, so I think we're getting pretty good coverage. You can put this on a lot of different crops. They say corn and hay, I think cotton, I don't remember. But I plan on trying it when we put a hay seeding in next year, putting it on the hay seed. Because I always feel like it takes a while for that hay to come out of the ground. But they don't want it on soybeans. It's not going to give you a return, so they said don't even try it. I think I said we're shooting for 34,000 on this field, around about that 6-inch seed spacing. So that's what we're shooting for. Running as high as I can, feel comfortable with that, just until we're done with this field. Somehow I got a big blotch right there. I don't know if that happened overnight or what. I don't remember it last night. We finished at about 12:15 last night, so it was a late one. It was hard getting up at 7:30, but I managed it. I slept through most of my alarm, but I caught it at the tail end. So yeah, just chugging along. Got the little blue tanks behind us. A couple hours, I think. How long have we been working on this field? We got 2 hours and 19 minutes of operation under our belt, but we started this at 8:45 last night and ran till 12:15. So there's a lot of time in there that doesn't account for. That only counts when you're moving or when you're dropping seed in the ground, I think. So now we've been talking about pulling those yellow tanks off of this planter and putting 2 of the newer style big ones on. I think if we do that, we'll keep the outer one on each side for in-furrow and take that white tank off. I don't know, we could probably try and mount that on the front of the tractor or something if we really wanted to, but that would make our in-furrow capacity 140 gallons instead of, right now it's 120, but we never fill it all the way up, just because I don't feel comfortable doing that yet. I had 100 gallons in it yesterday. It was wobbling a little bit, but that's what I think we should do. So we'll have 2 big yellow tanks in the middle on the main frame, and then the little ones on the outsides for the in-furrow. I think that would be a pretty slick setup. Now, here's one thing that's really crazy to me in my mind. So I'm looking at my singulation. It's running 99, 99.5. Now I cracked a bag open of this seed and it was flats, which kind of threw me for a second. This planter, last time I planted flats, they were untreated, they were organic, and I had a heck of a time. It was like 88% singulation the entire time. I was dumping talc, dumping graphite, trying to get it to work. I didn't mess with the planter because it works fine everywhere else, but that was my experience with flats, and I didn't want to deal with them anymore. So I usually get rounds, but I guess this one I couldn't get them. Now we're in 97.7, so we're still around that 98%. Now we're back up to 99. I haven't done anything to this planter. We bought this planter and started playing corn. We never touched anything. We never touched the vac. We never touched meters. I don't even know if you can adjust these ESET meters on the inside to adjust for singulation and stuff. This planter just plants perfectly all the time, it seems like. And it's those meters.
which is incredible to me. And I see guys all the time, especially with the ExactEmerge planters, having trouble making adjustments all the time, it seems like. But that's crazy that the ESET meter, these things have been around for a while, and they just, nothing seems to phase them, except for that untreated flats for some reason. I'd have to figure out, they might have been really big or something, but yeah, that's just incredible. I don't even know how to adjust for singulation. That's how good this planter is. I've never had that bad of an issue for that long of a period of time to justify adjusting. I know when we had the 2020 in here, that had a vac sensor on it, and our vac runs around 20 to 22, which is where it was when we bought it. And that gauge on the planter only goes up to 15. So like right now, I have no idea what my actual number is. I just know it's above 15 because my gauge is pegged out back there, which is interesting, but to say the least. I know I can replace that and get one that goes up to like 30, I think, but I never needed to because I've never needed to adjust it. So right there's a map of all my skips and doubles. Yellow's a skip, blue's a double. Singulation's 98.6, 98.5, 98.3, so it's doing pretty good. Population's 35,000, around that 5961 seed spacing.
So a little awkward. There's 2 acres left over here, these little short rows, and I just ran out of fuel. So we're walking to the truck, and we gotta go to the funeral. We'll deal with that when we get back. Oh, I knew I should have put fuel in it. I feel really stupid now. Oh well, live and learn. Well, I ran that tractor out of fuel multiple times in my lifetime, so I guess I don't really learn, but the fuel gauge is really glitchy in that tractor, so it's hard to tell how much is in it. And I try to look every morning, but I forgot about it. And I think I've only fueled up once this year so far. I think I've done all the beans and just 50 acres of corn on 1 tank of fuel. So yeah, it's easy to forget about when you're not burning that much. But we got a long walk to the truck, and I got to make it in 5 minutes or less. So see you guys when I get back. I just got back from the funeral. It's about 4:30, almost 5 o'clock now. So we're going to go out and rescue the tractor. I don't know if we're going to be able to finish that field. That isn't a wet portion of the field, but we have gotten 2 tenths since we left. So that may be an issue. We'll see. It's 2 acres, so we may just send it, but we'll see. We got the tractor, we put 10 gallons of fuel in it, and lifted the planer up, put the locks on, closed all the fertilizer valves. Just got it set up to set there. When we get the weather, either tomorrow or Wednesday, we will go out and finish that field up, and then get the next field going, I think. So that was it for today, though. We loaded up a load of hay. We're going to deliver that tomorrow, so you guys stay tuned for that, and have a good one. So thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.